improved damage and tankiness compared to the last league, and the result is amazing. What's up guys, Pidget here. This build can delete any non-Uber content under a few seconds if the boss fight doesn't have any phases. Now we're talking about damage. Let's see what the new things we got on the damage side. This is a trap build, so we can preload our damage so we can burst down the bosses in the first few seconds. Explosive trap can cause 11 small explosions. Each explosion will deal the same amount of damage as the first one. There is no damage penalty. When you look at the path of building, you can now set how many explosions hitting the target. This is new and thanks to the community for that. It's good to see this. For even more damage, we're using Helm enchantment for our trap. It's mandatory, this gives us a huge amount of damage. The build can now use 2 curses thanks to the extra curse node on the tree, namely Assassin Mark. This will increase the critical chance and critical damage the target takes, and Flammability. This will lower the enemy fire resist, and we applying this with one single button, Arcanist Brand. We can easily generate power and frenzy charges if our enemies is triggering the traps. Bear Trap for even more damage. If you not use Bear Trap before, this will increase the damage the enemy take from our traps. This time we will not use Drop Brittle Ground, because I think it has not good uptime on bosses that teleporting around. So we using instead of this increase action speed on our boots. We will move faster and drop traps more frequently. On the defensive side, using Grace Aura for evasion rating, so we almost can die from the monster's basic attacks or projectiles. Because we using Grace, we can use Ghost Dance Keystone. When we take a hit, we will recover 3% of our evasion rating as energy shield. To benefit from this even more, we using energy shield and evasion basic. A crystal belt for extra energy shield. Skin of the Lord's unique body armor for the 100% global defense mod. You can only socket corrupted gems inside this piece of gear. This will increase our armor, evasion and energy shield by a lot. You need 3 green, 2 red and 1 blue socket. On this piece of gear, you can have keystone from your passive tree. I'm using Call to Arms. This is not the best in slot, but it's really good for the survivability. Your Warcry will be instant, and I'm using Enduring Cry. This will give us a huge burst of life regen and endurance charges for even more tankiness. If you can afford, you can use Avatar of Fire or the Mage Beam version. The only downside is you can't use Enduring Cry and you need to craft on your gear minimum endurance charges. There is a few other versions you can use if you can't afford the chest that I'm suggesting to you. Only socket colors needs to be the same. You can find this keystone list under the notes section in the POB. Determination and Molten Shell combo for the physical damage reduction. Because of that, we were using our panic button while Molten Shell. When this is active, we almost immortal for the duration. For even more duration, we linked increased duration to this skill, so we can use this for almost 20 seconds, which is plenty of time to do the boss mechanics or just search a safe zone to recover. Now, we almost can't be touched by physical attacks, only danger left for us is the spell damage, but we have a solution for this. Using spell suppression on gear, which is preventing half of the spell damage when we taking spell damage. We also blinding nearby enemies and we will take 15% less damage from them. Now we have positive chaos resistance. It was hard to fit in, but now you don't have to worry about the chaos damage and the ground regen from the monsters. Ignite and shock immunity. Because we choose Saboteur as our Ascendancy. It's important to get these immunities in the current patch because all the monsters could shock or ignite us. For even more defenses, I upgraded my Pantheon to get freeze immunity, also reducing the chill effect by 50%. We're using Javelins with reduced chill effect, so we now fully elements immune. Under the description, you will find 2 POB, one with the mapping tree and one with the bossing. The only difference is 4 points. One thing worth to mention when we fighting against Uber bosses, I suggest to you take Lethal Shade. This will reduce the damage over time from the ground effects, but don't use it if you're doing normal content. Also don't take when leveling because it will make your life miserable. I would like if you hit the like button like the Shaper hitting the Elder so it can start spread to more people. Thank you! Few important things you need in the build. Aim on your weapon and your shield, +1 to fire or physical spell skill gems, spell crit, spell damage or fire damage increase. I bought a base with fractured mod and used spell crit essence till I got this too. On your amulet also needs to be +1 to fire or physical skill gems. I just bought mine, I didn't craft. Or anointment is arcane potency. The stats you looking on your gear, life on every single piece of gear, resistance and spell suppression. The following implicits you can craft with Eldritch currency. Spam till you get the following. On your helmet, increase mana reservation efficiency of your skill, you need at least 9%, otherwise you can't use your aura. The other mod is increase spell critical chance. There is two versions of this, when there is a unique enemy or just simple increase. Both is good, don't worry about too much. Worth to mention, you need Explosive Trap cause 2 additional smaller explosion enchantment. On your gloves, inflict fire exposure on hit and trap throwing speed. On your boots, gain physical damage as extra fire damage and increased action speed. I'm using a boots enchantment, which is really huge damage boost for us. Just want to highlight a few things on the passive tree that you need for the build. We're using 8 passive caster Javel with Iron Breaker, Battle Hardened, and Force Multiply. 2 medium cluster Javel with Surprise Sabotage and Guerry Tactics, the other Javels Surprise Sabotage and Arcane Pyrotechnics. This is why you will see plugin a level 1 Arcane Surge in Path of Building to simulate the damage increase. Worth to mention, we're using a single Aulok cluster Javel with small passives have increased effect. You need at least 25% and we take Sublime Form for the elemental resistance and Grace has increased mana reservation efficiency. You need 3 points Javel with this. The rest of the Javels is real with life and critical strike multiplier with fire skill and resistance. We're taking Saboteur as our Ascendancy, because almost this is the only Ascendancy in the game that synergizes very well with the traps. The notables in order are the following. In your first lab you take Perfect Rhyme, because our mana cost in the early stages is high, this helps sustain our mana, also give us extra damage. Second lab we take Explosive Expert for more damage. This is what I really like in this Ascendancy. You will get health regen and you will immune to shock and ignite. When you complete your Uber lab, take Born in the Shed. This is our defensive part. You will take less damage from the blinded enemies while nearby enemies is also blinded. Gem and Gemning, starting with the main link. In our body armor, Explosive Trap, you don't need quality on this gem. Life tap support, Swift Assembly, Concentrated Effect, Trap and Might damage support, Awakened added fire damage. When you doing maps, you socketing out Swift Assembly and socketing in Cluster Trap support. In our gloves or Curse setup, Assassin Mark, Life Tap, Arcanist Brand, and Anomalous Flammability. In our boots, Enduring Cry, Life Tap, Constant Damage Taken, and Molten Shell. In our shield, Bear Trap, with Life Tap support, and Flame Dash. In our helmet or aura setup, Grace, Herald of Ash, Unbound Elements, and Summon Skitterbots. In our weapon, Determination, and Defiance Banner. I hope you enjoyed this video about Explosive Trap Saboteur. If you have any question, please let me know under the comment section. Thanks for watching, I was Pidget, see you next time guys!